Hey, it's Chuck. I'm going to interrupt the bald therapist series today because this one's not abstract for me. This one's personal. The Department of Health and Human Services is proposing getting rid of protections for LGBTQIA youth in foster care. So let me dumb that down. Say it plainly. These are kids who have already been removed from their homes, already been failed by the adults who are supposed to protect them, and already had their sense of safety shattered. They are now being told that the people responsible for their care can reject them for who they are. And that is cruelty dressed up as policy. And I need y'all to understand something about me when I say this. I'm not just a therapist. I'm not just a father with two sons adopted out of foster care. Before any of that, I spent a decade in the Georgia child welfare system. I was a CPS worker, a supervisor, and a state risk consultant. I was in those homes. I made those decisions. I saw and oversaw the removals, things that are so horrific that it still lives with me today, 2 decades later. I saw what happened when children were left in danger, and I saw what happened when the system itself became one more source of harm. And so when I read something like this, I don't read it like a freaking headline. I read it like a man who knows exactly what these kids are already carrying. These are children who did not ask for their situation. They didn't do anything to earn their situation. They were powerless and are powerless to stop what happened to them. And all they ask for is not anything extravagant. They ask for treatment of safety, trust, kindness, compassion, support with unconditional love that many of them have never known. But apparently that's too much to ask from some adult. And if that doesn't disgust you, well, I don't want to know you, because it should. Because foster care is supposed to be about shelter in every sense of the word. Physical shelter, yes, but emotional shelter, relational shelter. The kind of safety that lets a kid's nervous system stop bracing for the impact for short or a long amount of time. The kind of care that tells them maybe for the first time, you don't have to become somebody else to deserve protection here. And now we have people trying to take that away from LGBTQIA kids in the name of what? Values? No, fucking absolutely not. Let me be clear. LGBTQIA youth are already overrepresented in foster care. They're already more likely to experience rejection, homelessness, depression, suicidality, exploitation, bullying, and repeated placement instability. And so when you remove protections from them, you're not creating freedom. You're manufacturing more harm from children who have already had a longer trauma resume than most adults could survive, let alone even fathom. And for the Christians who cheer this on because it has acronyms in it, let me go ahead and have the Bible talk with you. The one that so many of y'all love using, when it helps you feel righteous. Because I can throw down like that. Matthew 25:31-46. I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. And then the part that you don't get to squirm out of, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters, you did for me. Sorry, I misquoted that one. Whatever you did for the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. The least of these, not the easiest of these, not the most agreeable of these, not the ones who make you most comfortable. The least of these. Children in foster care are the least of these. Children who have been abused, neglected, abandoned, bounced from home to home, and forced to live at the mercy of adult decisions are the least of these. LGBTQIA foster youth, who are now apparently still too threatening for some grown-ass adults to simply treat with dignity, are standing right there in that verse, whether you fucking like it or not. So don't tell me that this is Christian. Don't tell me that exclusion is love or this rejection is morality. Don't tell me that making a child less safe is somehow holy. That's not fucking faith. It's cowardice with a Bible verse taped to it. And for somebody who worked in the system for more than 10 years, let me tell you what these kids actually need. They need adults who know how to regulate themselves. They need adults who don't make a child pay the price for the adult's discomfort. They need adults who can offer safety without conditions and care without interruption. They need homes that don't turn identity into a threat, because these kids have already lived through enough uncertainty. I don't need one more frickin' door open to rejection by the very people charged with protecting them. This one's personal for me because I've seen these kids in case files. I've sat with them and their families in living rooms, in placements, in disrupted homes, and in my own family now. I know what it costs to be a child treated like a problem instead of a person. So no, I'm not going to be gentle about this. I'm not going to be kind, because if you're okay with removing protections from LGBTQIA kids in foster care, then you're not defending children. You're defending your own comfort at a child's expense. And that tells me everything that I need to know about you. I'm Chuck, the bald therapist. Fucking work on you. Because if you can't offer emotional shelter to children who have already survived the worst of adults, then don't fucking call yourself protective, and don't you dare call yourself Christian or Christ-like, because you're not.